Do you ever feel like you are trying to create something and something just kills your momentum? You're trying to manifest your dream life and your dream career, your dream relationship, your dream body, you dream finances, like you have something you want to create in the world, and you on a momentum, and then something just kills your drive, kills your joy, kills your momentum, and like poof, nothing happens, or it doesn't materialize, or something gets in the way. Do you know what that thing is for you? Because today I was exploring this because I was like, what is it that has been getting in the way of my dreams? Like, I have a certain list, but something blocks my action, right? It could be like last year, it was like for me, social media. Like, I just wasn't showing up consistently. And I know I had the desire to show up on social media and to step into my purpose and to start sharing more, but something in me was holding me back. So this year I said to myself, if I'm not stepping into my purpose and I haven't addressed what the pattern is that's been holding me back, then it's going to show up again and it's going to run on automatic. So thankfully, I just felt this huge download. Like I had this big heaviness. And by exploring that heaviness, I was able to, thankfully, with the higher self's intuition, high awareness, help me to see what was in the way. And I started to see in my background, what was holding me back was this fear and this impossibility mindset, and just really not giving myself permission to dream big and to have faith and that conviction that whatever I'm doing, just be unapologetic in showing up. It doesn't matter what people think. You're here to share your truth. And if people want it, they take it. If not, okay. So it's like a letting go of the fear of judgment and the fear of criticism and what people will think. And so allow ourselves to be fully expressed in that dream and that co creation of whatever it is you want to bring to life. So there's these lower self patterns that come and try to interrupt the flow of the manifestation. So this is where I was like really battling, because I was like, why am I not experiencing what I want yet? Where is this? And I was like, okay, the actions that need to happen, the actions that need to be taken, there has to be initiative and that fire of that faith and belief in yourself to courageously take those actions, even in the midst of fear, and to go forward with that faith in oneself that you can have what you want in life, that the design of the universe is to give you that life you want. When you co create with the higher self, then it becomes more natural to materialize things, because now the inclusion of the higher self is happening. So materialization of our dreams, imagining, what do I want? You know, what is it that brings me joy? Do I want more travel? Do I want a relationship? Do I want a friend? Do I want to cook more delicious meals? That's for me. Or do I want to exercise and have this body that I want, right? So there, you can identify what that is. Or I just really want to fulfill my purpose this year, God. Like I really want to just step into what my calling is and just begin that. And I'm just like, it's just getting it done. And when we look at the limitations of the I can't do it, oh, this is, who am I to dream that big, right? Or is it possible for me to really have it all, and for me to experience my happiness and to give it all to myself, like really believing that you are worthy of that, and that the creator did not create us to suffer on this life and not experience his joy in the kingdom, or the joy of life. Like the beloved creator didn't have us come here to toil and spin. You understand? We're here to live life to the fullest in the grace of neither toiling nor spinning. You understand? It's not about the struggle. So, higher self does not struggle. Higher self does not toil nor spin. The one that struggles is the ego. The ego that works without the higher self struggles, toils, and spin. But when you are co creating with the higher self, then the decisions that you make from the higher self leads you to a path of prosperity and victory, because the higher self never fails and does not fail. I'm telling you, because I've tested it. All right. I've tested this. One day, hubby and I were taking son to a trampoline park, and we stopped to ask the higher self, hey, do we go to the trampoline park? Higher self said no. And we were like, oh, let's just check it out anyway. We just went anyway, just to check it out, because we were like, why? Why not? There should be no reason. When we got there, the place was closed. Even though they were open, they had a tech issue going on. So, what that showed me is that that's just a simple example, right? Of how, when we collaborate with the higher self, decisions that are made from there are for our best and highest good, that it never leads us astray. It always leads us to our joy and fulfillment. The higher self always lets me know, hey, don't go there, go here. And this takes some time to cultivate. It's a practice, it's a habit of inclusion, right? It's a habit of asking the higher intelligence, the higher self in you, hey, what is your will? And we may not, sometimes at first I couldn't hear the higher self. At first I couldn't just perceive the higher self. And sometimes I have a difficulty sometimes doing that. It takes habit. It's like a muscle you build, and it's a muscle of inclusion. It's a muscle of patience. It's a muscle of humility. And you got to blend it all in there, and we got to exercise it. That muscle needs to be exercised, but it takes patience to slow down. And when we make those decisions from the higher self, we live a life that we neither toil nor spin. Because when we make decisions from the higher intelligence, it always orchestrates the fulfillment of our joy, because the higher self is joy and fulfillment. The personality, our personality that works without the higher self, experiences setbacks, delays, mistakes, toiling and spinning, struggling, trying to figure it out, confusion, lack of clarity, failed businesses, failed partnerships, failed marriages, failed initiatives, failed projects, wrong decisions, wrong flights, wrong partnerships. Did I go over a couple? I did. I mean, it's just enormous, the mistakes that the intelligence of the ego personality does, because it really doesn't know any better. Like, hey, I do my best. I'm not the ego, but I am one with the ego. Like, I have an ego, right? And the ego in me wants to make decisions. And I'm like, hey, pull it back, man, pull it back. We got to take it easy. We don't know what's best here. I don't know what's best. And the minute I said to myself, I do not know what's best for me, only my higher self does. I need to get out of the way. Only my higher self knows what's best for me. And yes, I may come up with ideas and they're brilliant sometimes. And I may come up, but I have to run it through the higher self, because those brilliant ideas don't come from the ego. They come from the higher self. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like there has to be this humility to say, I don't know. And I need the wisdom and intuition of the higher intelligence within us to guide us. So you're working as a team and in collaboration. And so it's not that we're stupid. It's not that we can't figure stuff out. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that there are limitations to the ego intelligence, and it cannot see so far. The higher intelligence, though, can see all possibilities, can see all variables. It is beyond time and space. It can see all realities at the same time. So when you tapping into that and you asking for guidance, it's the best guidance system. When you asking to guide you in your day-to-day manifestation choices, then you skip out those long haul problems and all the patterns of the ego that derail you off your purpose. I think that's it. 10 minutes If you feeling this, please leave comments. Thank you. Namaste.